Hey, Isaac here. I'm going to take you through a really quick stretch. It's only going to take us 15 minutes. We're going to stretch our whole lower body. So if you experience any pain, lower back, knees, ankles, any sort of inflexibility in those muscles, this is the stretch for you, okay? Super easy to do at home. I have a slant board here, which gives me a little bit of an advantage. However, the slant board for these stretches is just so I can raise my toes up, okay? And put myself in a position to really accelerate stretches. Things you can use, we've got a foam roller just over here. What you could do is jam that into a wall. Same thing, make sure you've got a little bit of room to sort of step past it and use this sort of position. The other things that I've commonly seen used is books, chopping boards. You could roll up towels and use them. Just something that we can elevate your feet for these first two stretches, okay? So for today, I'm gonna use the slant board because it's gonna give me a bit of stretch and I really wanna stretch. All right, 15 minutes this is gonna take us, that's all. First off is a calf stretch. So we wanna put our foot up, raise our toes, and I'm gonna use the slant board. So I'm trying to actively pull my foot up using my tibialis anterior, which is that shin muscle. And I'm just gonna lean forwards into that, okay? Trying to plant my heel, pulling my toes up, keeping my quads active, so we've got a nice straight leg there, leaning into that. You can use the wall just to balance you a little bit, or a bench, or whatever you've got close by. I've got this on, timer on for a minute on, 30 seconds off, so we've got plenty of time to shift to the next side or the next stretch. First up, calves. So we want to try and keep this as active as possible, so we're trying to pull our foot up. This is an active calf stretch with our foot raised, so on a slant board or similar. So trying to really pull your foot upwards. Good, that's 60 seconds there. We're going to go to the other side. So same exact thing. We're going to keep that leg nice and straight. Get yourself into a position. Again, pulling up with that shin bone muscle, your tibialis anterior. This is where you might find, this is why it's really good doing single leg stuff, single side stuff, is because you might find there's a bit of a discrepancy from side to side. Here we go, straight leg. Trying to pull that foot upwards the whole time and get as far deep into that as you can. Really breathing nicely. This side's definitely far tighter for me. Other side I barely felt. This side, I can feel it. And the goal here is you want to stretch so much into these that you just don't feel the stretch through your calves, which you might find relieving straight away almost. Keeping it active, pulling your foot up, breathing. Beautiful. Now we're going to use the same thing with our foot raised for the next one. We're going to progress it into a hamstring stretch. Now I'm going back to the other side. I want you to as well. And all we're going to do is keep that there and keep that leg straight. This time we're going to really focus on squeezing our quad on, still pulling our foot up, but we're going to just relax down into this, okay? Keeping our head relaxed down and just allowing our body to relax into that hamstring, right? So I've only got one foot on the slant board, okay? The other foot off. Keeping that quad flexed as much as you can. Sorry if that's loud in the microphone. Breathing. The goal is to have a straight leg, quad flexed on, and have our palms flat on the ground, if we can, just in front of the slant board. As you can see, I'm almost there. Not far off. On this side anyway. coming out of that. Remember, we've got 30 seconds there. So we want to move to the other side now. Same thing. And this side's a bit tighter. I like this sort of setup because it allows me to have a little bit longer on this side. So I go straight into it. Don't worry about waiting for the bell. Just get into it. It's a bit of a bonus to stretch. Again, flexing on the quads. Trying to pull that leg, pull yourself down deeper into it. Just allowing yourself to get deeper. Trying to keep that leg as straight as possible. It might be very nervy, mine is, on this side. Just trying to keep that quad as active as possible, which is difficult. Let that head sink down too. Nice. Now we're going to shoot that board out the way and we're going to go, I'm just going to move this, my big yoga mat into the corner. We're going to do an outer glute stretch, okay? Now, an easy way to start this is just to lay down like this and you have your feet, you want to be probably about this distance away from the wall. And we're going to put this leg up here like that. So you've got your, just above your ankle, sitting into that. Now, and you're just relaxing down into that. Now, if you can't feel that stretch, right, what you want to do is come a little bit closer to the wall. And obviously the most extreme version is to be up like that. And then you're just relaxing into that, okay? Wow. And this whole time that we're down here, we want to be pushing our foot into our knee, imagining that you're driving all the energy that way so you can feel that in the hip here. But otherwise relaxed. Active here in this left leg, or the leg that's bent and getting stretched. I'm going to hold a little bit longer because I adjusted a little bit. Really good stretch, that one. And then all we do, shift into the other side. So again, make sure you've got a nice sturdy wall, right? And we relax into this one. Again, driving that foot in, and again you'll notice probably one side tighter than the other. So remember to shift yourself in and out of the wall to make it a bit more intense. You don't want to be stretching into pain, but you do want a bit of discomfort, otherwise you're not going to get anything, right? And you want to make sure it's nice and active. So pressing into the wall here. Keeping this leg active. This is an outer glute stretch. It's really, really good. Nice. You come out of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go putting our bum hard against the wall, try and find a blank bit of wall, and we're going to swing our body around and we're going to go straight into a groin stretch. All right, now you want to go out as wide as you can here. Have your back flat on the ground. You want to go as wide as you can And what you're trying to do here is keep your quads on, okay? Trying to keep your quads active and pushing your bum to the ground and just allowing those, pulling with your outer glutes that we were just stretching downwards, okay? Pulling them down. We don't want to be reefing onto your legs and try to pull them down with these because these are quite sensitive muscles, but we do want to be trying to pull them down with our own glutes and keeping these quads on. So it's a nice active strength stretch. And breathing again too, right? Keeping those quads on. Nice, we're just doing a 60-second total there, which is nice. And then what we're going to do is spin around, slide off the wall here, and we're just going to go out wide here. So we've done a groin stretch there. Now what we're going to do is what we call a pancake, okay, which is, sorry, just dropped the microphone, is just stretching out here nicely, keeping the quads on again, and we're just trying to lean forwards here. Now, this gets the inner hamstring. So this is the inner hamstring stretch. So it's a pancake. Feet go up. It's the same position basically, but you'll feel it slightly differently as you lean forward. Now, if you're struggling to lean forward here, if you actually sit up on something here, I often sit on a sandbag, or you've got yoga blocks, would be even better. A couple of pillows, the book, or anything that you are resting up for your feet, and you lean forward, that'll simulate being a bit more flexible and you'll be able to get deeper. But once you're at this sort of point, your hips are tilting forward slightly and you're able to, you want to keep your quads active and pull yourself deeper. So trying to use these muscles, your hip flexors, to try and pull yourself in and down, keeping it active. Really nice and easy, right? Nice, and just 60 seconds there. Now, what we've got next is the couch stretch. This is the last one, which is a very good one for you guys. And what I often do is put a bit of a padding, so a bit of a towel down here in the corner. You're going to put your knee directly into the corner and then swivel that up here so that your knee's hard in that corner here. And then coming into this position. Oh, short's getting caught. And then we want to come up here, get yourself into a good position here. And we want to be driving that leg into the wall here. Now, this is my tighter of the sides. You might find that you're just down here, and that's okay, right? We just want to make sure you can pull your knee away from the wall a little bit if it's too intense, but our gold standard is trying to get your shoulders back to the wall actually. So if you're way tighter than that, chances are you need this. So you want to be pushing your foot into the wall, keeping the quads active, which is killer, and stretching and turning the glutes on, pushing the hip this way, which again is killer. This is probably the hardest one for sure. But I promise it gets way, way easier. Nice. Finally, the other side. And then you'll find that's 15 minutes of stretching. Now, could you hold these longer? Could you do it again? Could you do it double up? Absolutely. You could do much more than this. In fact, holding for 2 minutes, or I find doing this twice in a day, you will accelerate your stretching and your mobility so much. Here we go. There's my little cat, if you saw him wondering, one of my 4 cats. Again, pushing your foot into the wall and really trying to stretch. Trying to push your hip this way, foot into the wall. So you're flexing on your quads. It's a big one. Great one if you sit at a desk all day. This one, just alleviate all your back pain and everything. This is my stretcher of the two sides because I can almost get my shoulders back to the wall. We're almost there, team. And we're just doing 60 seconds. Again, twice a day. Killer. You'd be flexible as in no time. Well done. Peel out of that one. Stand up. Shake it out a little bit. Wipe the forehead because I'm sweating now. So I just did a workout prior to this. Now you can tell already you should feel like, oh, that was actually quite intense. And if you just got a sweat on just from doing that, I'm not surprised because it can be quite intense because we are building strength in those active stretches. I can't stress enough how important it is to keep the active tension in your muscles when you're stretching of the antagonist muscle. So that's the opposite muscle that you are stretching, so that you're pulling yourself deeper into the stretch and strengthening in those tissues. It's really, really important. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get lots out of it. You can just go through this video. You don't even have to listen to me. Just put it on silent and just look for the green and red on there, and you'll know when to change and when not to change. Easy as that. Enjoy.